All right, welcome back, everybody. My next guests are the living embodiment of the American dream. This is such an incredible story. Take a look.
Over there, that was slavery, and over here it was freedom.
It was freedom. It was.
It was freedom.
Dorothy and Sandra grew up in a family of sharecroppers in the rural town of Jonesville, South Carolina. As children, they picked cotton on this land every day. Across the street lived a wealthy white family in what Dorothy and Sandra considered a mansion. Although segregation was still in effect, the sisters would sneak off and play often with the property owner's white daughters.
They were our playmates when we were younger.
Even though this house was just across the street, in their eyes, it was a world away. Decades passed and times changed, so when Dorothy and Sandra received a phone call from their old playmate offering to sell the property, they said yes. Today, they have turned the mansion into a family retreat, a piece of their history where the next generation can come together to rest, relax, and simply enjoy.
I tell you, it's just a blessing.
Nice to have y'all.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
It's good. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, y'all look nice, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all right now. So let's get, the day you got the keys to the house, what was that like for you?
It was so, we just felt so wonderful because here when, it took us back to our childhood. And you know, all of us want to stay children forever. So it took us back to the time when we used to play with Marion, Joan, and Peggy. And it was a time when there were things that were not good. And their house was sort of a little retreat.
Now, Miriam, the schools were segregated while you were growing up. So how did you and your siblings ever question playing with the kids across the street?
It wasn't no question. We'd just sneak over there and tell them to come on over to the house and play, because they were our neighbors, and, you know, we enjoyed playing with them. Didn't think nothing about it.
Didn't think nothing about it.
My mother and her mother became close because my mother would sometimes go over and iron for her, and they would share some of their common marriage problems. And that was shared by one of the sisters, because she said she walked in on them one day and both of them were crying, and that they had probably shared some of the things they were going through.
Now, what story leaves your kids or grandkids the most shocked about your childhood?
I think it's the one that when we were younger and we was on the farm, we had to pick cotton, and it was hard for them to believe that we had to pick 250 to 300 pounds a day.
Pounds?
Per person.
Per person?
Yes, per person.
Per person.
Yes, per person.
Because we needed 1,500 to 1,800 pounds in order to make a load.
And that's why I used to put dirt in mine a little bit.
So now, y'all got to pick 250 pounds of cotton per person.
Yes.
To come up with the load or bale.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yes.
you, in essence, sharecroppers, you're renting the land, but you're using your labor
Yes.
in exchange for the money.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just go to the store and pick up a bag of cotton. It don't even weigh a pound. Do you know how big that bag of cotton is? Now you got to pick 250. I ain't mad at you for putting dirt in your bag. Boy. Other part of this that's really compelling for me is that this world we live in has such racism in it. I mean, even to this day. But for you all to have found love in the middle of all of the hatred, especially in the 30s and the 50s and the 60s, man, it was an ugly place to be, man. For you all to find that, that's a testament to the power of God.
Oh, yeah.
God's power. So y'all have remained friends all this time.
Yes.
Yeah. Even as her oldest sister, she's not here today, but as she was had babies and everything, they would come and I would babysit. I babysit her nieces and nephews, even as little children. So I got to see her house. I got to see their house, and that's why when I looked and I said what we have, but I looked over there and I saw a mansion. That was a mansion. Because of the things that
Great story. I'm so happy for all of you. You all have become these very powerful women sitting up in here. You're looking dignified. I heard you guys wanted to paint the house.
Yes, we've been
Yes,
painting.
we have to do more painting.
Well, I reached out to some friends of mine at Benjamin Moore.
Yes.
And so America's favorite paint, color, and coating brand. And they know that the right paint or stain can make a huge difference in the project. That's why they're gonna give y'all $5,000 worth of paint. Thank y'all so much for sharing y'all's story. All right, folks, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.